A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Muhammadin wa ala alihi wasallam. Inshallah, today we will study 8th Ruku of Surah Bani Israel. The last Ruku ended with this point. Allah Almighty has given preference to children of Adam over other creatures. For their augustness, they are being given the conveyance not only in the land but also in sea, whereas the other creatures move their own for any journey. Allah Almighty has given sustenance to us from the fresh and beneficial things. For His blessings, it is mandatory for us to be grateful to Him with the passion of beneficence, that is, not only using the provisions for the growth of ourselves but also for other creatures. Let's start today's session with this prayer that may Allah Almighty help us in understanding the Holy Quran by the grace of His beloved Prophet Rahmatul Alameen Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Ruku 8, comprising verses 71 to 77. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Yawma nad'u kulla unasim bi imamihim. The day we will call forth every people with his leader. Faman utiya kitabahu bi yaminihi. Then whoever is given the book in his right hand. Fa'ulaika yakra'una kitabahum wala yuzlamuna fatila. So they will read their book and no injustice will be done to them in the least. Fatilan, a thread inside their seat. We should keep in our mind that one day we will be called with our imams, that is, with what we kept in front at that moment. Whoever will be given his book in the right hand, then he will read it happily, and no injustice will be done to anyone. Their happiness can be estimated that they will invite others to read their books, as mentioned in chapter 69, Surah Al-Haqqa, verses 19 to 22. So, as for he who is given his record in his right hand, he will say, "Here, read my record. Indeed, I was certain that I would be meeting my account." So he will be in a pleasant life. وَمَنْ كَانَ فِي هَذِهِ أَعْمَى. And whoever is blind in this. فَهُوَ فِي الْآخِرَةِ أَعْمَى وَأَضَلُّ سَبِيلًا. So will be blind in the hereafter and further astray from the way. While those people who blindly defy the message of truth and show ingratitude towards the benediction of Allah Almighty will be resurrected blind in the hereafter. These are the people who will be given their book in their left hand, and they will desire not to be hand over their record, and they will wish that in some way their story be ended. In chapter 69, Surah Al-Haqqa, verses 25 to 31, it is mentioned, "But as for he who is given his record in his left hand, he will say, Oh, I wish I had not been given my record and had not known what is my account. I wish my death had been the decisive one. My wealth has not availed me. Gone from me is my authority." Allah will say, "Seize him and shackle him. Then into hellfire drive him. وَإِن كَادُوا لَيَفْتِنُونَكَ عَنِ الَّذِي أَوْحَيْنَا إِلَيْكَ. And indeed, they were about to tempt you away from what we revealed to you. لِتَفْتَرِيَ عَلَيْنَا غَيْرًا. So that you invent about us something else. وَإِذَا لَاتَّخَذُوكَ خَلِيلًا. And then they would have taken you as a friend. These people had tried to deviate the claimant of truth from the revelation of Allah Almighty by putting him into some trial. The purpose of those was to drift the claimant of truth in such a way that he might include in this revelation the fabricated things and declare that it was from Allah Almighty. In such way, they would become his fastened friend. But in reality, the claimant of truth would never do such things. And if he commits anything like this, his end result is mentioned in chapter 69, Surah Al-Haqqa, verses 44 to 47. And if he had made up about us some false sayings, we would have seized him by the right hand. Then we would have cut him from the aorta, and there is no one of you who could prevent us from him. Walaula an sabbatnaka, and if we had not strengthened you, lakat kitta tarkanu ilayhim shay'an kalila, you would have almost inclined to them a little. Is Allah azaknaka zefal hayati wa zefal mamati. Then we would have made you taste the double life and double death. Summa la tajidulaka alayna nasira. Then you would not find to yourself against us a helper. Kitta, you almost. O claimant of truth, if Lord Almighty had not given you power of resistance and firm conviction, then there was a possibility that you would have inclined towards them a little. And in such situation, you would face the punishment of double intensity, not only in this life but also in your death. In Kadu la yastafizunaka minal ard, and indeed they were about to expel you out from the land. Liyukhrijuka minha wa izal la yalbasuna khilafaka illa kalila, so that they might evict you therefrom, and then they will not remain there after you except for a little. La yastafizunaka, unsettle you. The adversaries of truth were striving to drive you out from this land. Had they been successful, then they would have not remained there but for a very little. But it is the testimony of Allah Almighty that He and His messengers will always prevail, as given in chapter 58, Surah Al Mujadala, verse 21. Translation is, Allah has written, I will surely overcome, I and my messengers. Indeed, Allah is powerful and exalted in might. Sunnata man kad arsalna kablaka mir rusulina, an established way for those whom we sent before you of our messengers. Wala tajidu li sunnatina tahwila, and you will not find in our way any alteration. Tahwilan, any change. The chain of messengers is the sunnah of Allah Almighty, and the sunnah is that in which there is neither a change nor discontinuity. In chapter 35, Surah Fatir, verse 43, it is given, but you will never find in the way of Allah Almighty any deviation, and you will never find in the way of Allah Almighty any suspension. A summary of the 8th Ruku. One day, we all have to be brought before Allah Almighty along with our leaders. At that moment, whoever finds his book of deeds in the right hand would be filled with joy and happily invite others to read his book of deeds. Those who are blind to the message of truth and are ungrateful for the blessings of Allah Almighty will be raised blind in the hereafter. These people created mischief in the world and used various tactics to prevent the claimant of truth from their duty. These deviators have become worthy for a severe chastisement. There is no alteration and discontinuity in the Sunnah of Allah Almighty. The end result of goodness is wonderful, while the consequence of cruelty is some kind of chastisement. Whatever we sow today, so shall we reap tomorrow. May Allah Almighty help us in understanding the Holy Quran by the grace of his beloved Prophet Rahmatul lil Alameen sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Sadaqallahul Aliyul Azim sallallahu ta'ala ala habibihi Muhammadin wa ala alihi wasallam.